Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Week 5, Module 5 walkthrough. This week, we focused a little bit more on backend development. It was backend development part 2, a little bit deeper into the API. We'll kick it off here with my MongoDB database. As you can see, I've already created 20 agents. Our regions, there are 0 right now. We will add this and change it. I'll jump back here in a bit. Let's start with our simple hello. Okay, hello world. These are running through the health routes, which I will show you a little bit later in VS Code. Status, local 300 or 3008. Error message. Okay. Server error, sorry for the inconvenience. We can create this. Next, we are actually going to create an agent. Okay. The only fields that are required are AAA, first name, last name, email, and region. We're going to get a successful created agent. Jump back over here. Remember, we see 20 here. Let's go ahead and update. We now see that's updated to 21. I won't find him right now, but go ahead and take my word that he's there. Okay. We are going to go ahead and snip his ID for the next couple of parts. Okay. In this part and every part forward, if I don't show it, I have actually created the authorization test. The first 3 did not need them, but all the ones going forward already have this in here added. So next, going to sort agent after create. Go ahead and show that real quick. As you see, test here. We don't actually need to enter anything here because it's a simple sort function. His last name was AAA. Boom, so he's at the top of our list, followed by Colin Asher. And the list goes on. But as you can see, they were alphabetically sorted by last name. And for region, let's go ahead and do north. He wasn't there. I believe he was in the west. Before we hit fire, you can go ahead and see we have other agents in that region. Oh, and there he is, the guy we just created, AAA in the west with his other coworkers. Next, for agent update, I went ahead and snipped his ID earlier. And like I said, all these have that authorization test in here. We can change this at any time to anything we want. But for right now, in this step, we will need his ID number. So I will go ahead and replace it right here. Okay. And what we're actually doing here is we're going to update some things. We're going to go ahead and change his last name and email to puts. Boom. Get a success message, put, and back over to our database. Let's go ahead and update, make sure that push got through. Okay. Let's go ahead and sort. And you'll see him right there. AAA, last name put now. He's still in the East. Okay. Sticking with the theme, let's go ahead and just change 2 things about our good friend put. Okay, again, we're going to paste his ID right in here. See, boom. We want to make sure that authorization is still working. We see it there, but what if I were to enter it wrong? Okay, in the body, I want to change him to manager, and we're going to change his last name to Patch. Access forbidden. Well, that's because we entered the password wrong, or the key, pass key, whatever we want to call it for right now. And there you go. We see it changed. We'll check back here. His first name is still the same, but his last name has changed. He's now a manager. First name's AAA, last name is Patch, but he kept the same email and he's still in the East. Well, I'm kind of tired of him. Let's go ahead and say we delete him. So simply putting his ID in here. We don't need anything for the body because we just want to delete him. We still need that authorization. You can see it's here. Go ahead and hit send. Agent deleted successfully. Quick search. And he did not pop up first. Ali Wags did, followed by Bambi Smith. Okay. Well, back over here in regions, it's kind of grayed out. There's actually nothing in here. Let's go ahead and create those regions that those agents are in, just so it's easier to sort their information. Okay. So in create region, let's create North. We'll keep the address very basic. Again, in this header section, we still have the authorization. For test, we don't need anything else except for the body, where we need a region and the address. This creates our region. Now it's going to pull all the agents with that same region and display all their information, as well as telling us who the manager is and the top sales. And I apologize, that's just the top 3 agents, not all the agents in that region. Okay, let's go ahead and create a few more. Okay. Same information. Perfect. Friend is already deleted, so he's not going to show up in there. I entered that with a lowercase. It's going to go ahead and say that's wrong because we set these parameters earlier, and I'll show you where that is in our region schema, but it needs to be capitalized and you can't enter anything besides valid regions. Awesome. That should be 4. Okay. Still 0 over here. Let's go ahead and update that. One of 4. Here we go. You see north, west, east, and south. Perfect. Okay. Now let's say we want to get the region information. Okay. Again, this does have that authorization. In the params, all we had to enter was the region that was required, north. Okay. And it pulls all the information, the top 3 agents, along with total sales and who that manager is. Okay. Same rules apply. If we don't enter it just exactly right, it's not going to know what we're talking about. And last but not least, the all-stars, who's the top selling agent in each region. Pull it up right there. So the region they're in, their sales, what their first name is, last name, and what position they actually hold. Okay. Some of this backend stuff. Here's the app.js. We call everything in. We import the routes, middleware. Here's the .env file. The Mongo manager. The base middleware where we created the authentication token. Like I said, we can change it right here. In the health routes, these do not have an authentication. They were just simple hello world, hello, status and error. And this is where those functions actually live in the health controller. You see we're calling the env file here. Moving forward in the agent schema, this is where we set up the framework to create an agent and what an agent actually looks like. Okay, brought in Mongoose and then used a couple of validation things up here for position and region, as you'll see down here. These are all the fields. Some of them are required, some of them are not. The falses. We export it. Okay. Moving over to our agent routes. Again, we want to use things we just created, that authentication and that agent info. And then this is where we created a lot of those commands that you saw earlier. The create, the sort, agents by region, updating with a put or a patch, and the delete. All of those routes, this is where they're getting the functions from. So the create function, the sort agents by last name function, agents by region, updating with either a put or a patch. And that was over in the agent routes. Delete, and then top sales, which would be our all stars. Sorry, flipped it right there. In the region schema, same thing. This is where we set up the framework for the region that we created and the regions that the agents are actually in, those groupings. Okay, imported Mongoose, set up validations. This is where, because of this, you cannot enter a lowercase n for north or lowercase s, etc. It has to be those. Set that down here. Along with a couple other things, this is where we pull in the manager and the top agents. Here's what those region routes look like. Just a few of them, region create and region info. We handled the all stars over in the agent controller and agent routes. Here's the region controller. Where all of those functions live. And we export them. And that is my week 5 backend development part 2. Thank you.